When God is getting ready to bless you with something great, it rarely unfolds the way you expect. The road to greatness is often lined with hardships, obstacles, and moments of deep uncertainty. In life, there are no shortcuts to meaningful success, and the dreams planted in your heart aren't reached by easy paths. But when God is preparing to bless you, He doesn't simply hand it over. He shapes you into the person who can carry the weight of that blessing. And that transformation is often uncomfortable. You'll start to feel stretched beyond your limits. Things you once cherished may start to slip away. Familiar patterns will break. Relationships may shift. And your world might feel like it's turning upside down. But know this, it is in these very moments of discomfort that God is doing His greatest work within you. He is refining you, shaping you, getting you ready for what's coming. When He is preparing you for something big, He doesn't just drop it in your lap. No, He prepares you to carry it. And that preparation often comes as a season of pruning, a time of cutting away the unnecessary, so you can hold the fullness of what He's about to place in your hands. You may not see it clearly in the moment, but the pain, the struggle, the loss, it's all part of the process. Just like a tree must be pruned to bear more fruit, you must go through personal refinement to be ready for the greatness that is coming. This season will bring tests, tests of your patience, your faith, your endurance. There will be times when you feel discouraged, when you question if the promise of something better will ever come to pass. But always remember, God doesn't test you to break you. He tests you to build you. He allows you to face challenges because He knows you have what it takes to overcome them. He believes in you, even when you struggle to believe in yourself. This waiting season, this feeling of being stuck, it's not wasted. God is teaching you to be patient, to trust Him, to lean into His strength. If you look at the greatest success stories in the Bible or in today's world, there's a common pattern, a season of waiting, of preparation, often marked by hardship. David spent years in hiding, running from Saul, enduring rejection, but all the while, he was being molded into a king. Joseph, betrayed, sold, imprisoned, forgotten, but every trial was preparing him to become second in command of Egypt. The most powerful leaders are not made in comfort. They're forged in adversity. When God is about to give you something big, He begins by removing certain people and things from your life. You might be confused by closed doors or missed opportunities. But in those moments, trust that God is protecting your purpose. He is clearing away distractions, removing those who might hold you back, and shifting your circumstances so that nothing stands in the way of what He's planned for you. It may feel lonely. You may feel left behind, but in that stillness, God is drawing you closer, preparing you for a future that requires your full attention, your full heart, your full trust. Another powerful sign that God is about to bless you is the stirring in your spirit, that quiet but persistent desire for more. It may come as a yearning, a restlessness, a sense that there's something greater just beyond your reach. Even if you don't know exactly what it is, you can feel the shift. It's like standing on the edge of a new chapter, sensing that everything is about to change. That restlessness, that holy discomfort, is God preparing your heart for what He's about to do. You may also notice that things which once satisfied you no longer bring the same peace. What used to comfort you might now feel empty. The things you once chased may begin to lose their appeal, not because they're bad, but because God is calling you higher. He is realigning your desires with His will. What once seemed important begins to fade, and your focus sharpens on what truly matters: your purpose, your passion, your calling. In those moments, it's critical to cling to your faith, even when the outcome isn't clear. God's timing is perfect, and the struggles you're facing are not wasted. They are preparing you for something greater. They are shaping you for the role you are meant to play, for the blessing you're meant to carry. If you endure this time with trust and patience, you'll emerge stronger, wiser, and ready for the next chapter. Finally, when God is preparing to give you something big, He will not only give you strength and wisdom, He will also challenge you to move. Faith without action is empty. God will ask you to step forward, even when you don't have all the answers. This is where obedience matters. Take the step, even if the way isn't clear, even if you're unsure. God does not bless hesitation. He blesses obedience. He honors those who move in faith and act in alignment with His will. So when you face difficulty, uncertainty, and discomfort, don't lose heart. These are not signs of failure. They are signs that God is getting ready to bless you in a big way. Embrace the preparation, trust the process, and step boldly into the future He is shaping for you. The blessing is coming, and when it does, you'll be ready to carry it with grace, wisdom, and strength. There will be seasons in life when you face unexpected loss. People may walk away. Doors you thought would open may close without warning. And when it happens, it's natural to feel shaken, even abandoned. But what if what feels like rejection is actually redirection? What if it's not the end, but the beginning of something greater unfolding? Just like a skilled gardener trims back a vine to help it grow stronger and bear more fruit, sometimes God must prune our lives. It isn't punishment, it's preparation. Dead branches, overgrowth, distractions, they all must go, not because you're losing, but because you're being refined for something more. God's pruning is always purposeful. The people and paths that once fit your life may no longer serve the future He's calling you into. Not everyone can go where you're going. Not everything can stay. And as painful as it may feel, those losses are clearing space for what's next, for what's better. What you're feeling isn't failure. It's transition, a holy reshaping of your life to match the weight of your calling. God knows where you're headed, even when you don't. He sees what's ahead, the blessings, the breakthroughs, the people aligned with your destiny, and He's preparing you to receive it all. Some relationships were only meant to be temporary. Some chapters must end, so a new one can begin. Clinging to what was can keep you from what's meant to be. That's why God sometimes removes the things that weigh you down, not to hurt you, but to help you rise. Imagine trying to run a race with a backpack full of bricks. You wouldn't get far. In the same way, God lightens your load so you can move forward freely, focused, and in alignment with His purpose. It's not loss, it's a clearing. It's not abandonment, it's advancement. When something or someone exits your life, trust that it's not by accident. God is making space. He's preparing you for something greater than what you're letting go of. But you must be willing to release. You must be willing to trust. The truth is, we often hold on because we fear the unknown. We think we're safer with what's familiar, even if it no longer serves us. But God never takes without the intention to give more. He removes with purpose. He closes doors to open better ones. It may not make sense now. It may feel like you're being left with less. But in time, you'll see what you thought was loss was actually love. Divine love rearranging your life for greatness. You'll look back and realize that everything had to happen exactly the way it did for you to become who you were meant to be. God's plan doesn't leave you empty. It sets you up for overflow. But to receive the fullness, you have to let go of what's no longer meant for you, and that requires faith, deep, surrendered faith. So if you're in a season of loss, remember this: it's not the end, it's a holy beginning. It's God preparing you for what your eyes haven't seen, your ears haven't heard, and your heart hasn't even imagined. Trust the pruning, embrace the process, because what's coming is greater than anything you've left behind. There comes a moment in life when your soul begins to whisper, "This isn't all there is." You look around and feel a quiet certainty that you were created for more purpose, more passion, more impact. That's stirring deep inside you. That's not a random emotion. It's heaven knocking on the door of your destiny. When God begins to move your heart, it's never without intention. He doesn't awaken a desire for more unless he has a plan to fulfill it. That longing for growth, whether it's in your faith, your calling, your influence, or your service, is a reflection of his divine blueprint for your life. That inner stirring is your invitation. It's God saying, it's time, time to rise, time to move forward, time to release the safety of the familiar and step into the unknown, trusting that he goes before you. But here's the truth. The call to more often comes with a challenge to leave behind your comfort zone and walk boldly into unfamiliar territory. When God stirs your spirit, it's not just to wake you, it's to launch you. He's calling you out of the ordinary and into the extraordinary. That inner pull for something greater is divine. It's a signal that your capacity is expanding, that you're meant to reach new heights. But stepping into greatness will demand something of you. It will ask for your courage. It will cost your comfort. It will stretch your faith, because the road to God's best isn't always smooth, but it is always worth it. The greater things God has in store are beyond your current vision. When he awakens your heart, he's preparing you to walk into the very dreams and assignments he planted in you long ago. So if you're feeling that divine unrest today, that holy discomfort, don't dismiss it. Don't silence it. Let it move you. Let it guide you. Because that stirring is a sign. God is leading you into a life of deeper meaning, richer purpose, and eternal impact. You haven't seen the fullness yet, but you're being called to it. So rise, trust his process, and take that first step toward the greatness he's prepared for you. The path won't always be clear, and obedience won't always be easy. But here's one of the most powerful truths you can hold on to. When God is preparing to bless you with something greater, one of the strongest decisions you can make is to obey, even when the way ahead is uncertain. This is where many of us struggle. The unknown can trigger fear, hesitation, and doubt. We want a roadmap, a timeline, clear confirmation, but God rarely reveals the entire journey up front. Instead, he asks us to trust, to move forward without seeing the full picture. Obedience doesn't require full understanding. It only requires a willing heart. Look at Abraham. God called him to leave everything he knew, his home, his comfort, his certainty, and to follow him to a land yet to be revealed. Abraham didn't receive the full itinerary. All he had was a promise, and he went. He moved in faith, not because he saw every step, but because he trusted the one who did. And through that obedience, God poured out blessings beyond anything Abraham could have imagined. That's the power of obedience. It unlocks the blessings of heaven. God isn't looking for perfection. He's looking for trust, for hearts that say, even if I don't see the full path, I'll walk anyway. Yes, you'll have questions. Yes, the road may look foggy. But trust this, God sees what you don't. His wisdom surpasses yours, and his plan is always for your good, even when it doesn't make sense right now. God rarely gives you the full plan at once. Why? Because he's not just leading you somewhere, he's shaping you along the way, building your character, deepening your faith, strengthening your trust. Choosing obedience when the outcome is unclear is one of the highest expressions of faith. Every time you say yes to God without having all the answers, you're declaring, I trust you more than I trust what I see. But faith is not passive. It doesn't just feel, it acts. Scripture says, faith without works is dead, James 2:26. That stirring in your heart, it demands motion. It's not just something to sit with, it's something to move with. Think of Peter stepping out of the boat. Jesus called him, and Peter didn't wait for calm waters or a perfect moment. He stepped out in the middle of the storm. He moved while the wind still howled, and as long as his eyes were on Jesus, he walked in the miraculous. But the moment fear took hold, he began to sink. You're being called to the same kind of faith, the kind that steps out even when the water is rough, the kind that trusts God's voice more than the noise of fear. That's how you experience the extraordinary. When God gives you a vision, he may not hand you the entire map. He'll give you just enough light for the next step, and then he asks you to trust him with the rest. Your willingness to move without all the answers, that's faith, and it's that kind of faith that opens doors no man can shut. God will never lead you in the wrong direction. If he's calling you forward, he will provide the strength, the clarity, and the provision you need right on time. And here's the beautiful truth. When you act in obedience, even with trembling hands, God honors it. He sees your trust. He rewards your courage. He multiplies your steps. Obedience is a seed, and God will grow it into something far greater than you ever dreamed. He's not asking you to have it all figured out. He's simply asking you to trust, to move, to say yes. So take that step, even if the ground feels shaky, even if the vision is incomplete, even if you're afraid, because as you obey, as you act, as you trust, you will walk straight into the future He's designed just for you, a future filled with purpose, overflowing with promise, marked by His hand. The best is still ahead.